On today's episode of The Game Chasers.
Yeah, that's gonna get me to stop and turn back around. $5 off a pile of crap.
I'm a little confused on a thing, but these are my kind of vendors. You never know what you're gonna find.
There is a Genesis game right in front of me.
Right there, literally right in front of you.
Oh, your butthole smells like rotten fruit.
The tradition, the good old tradition of waking Jay up.
I'm so tired.
Knock, knock. Rise and shine.
I'm shining.
Rise and shine.
You look like the biggest The fact that I continuously get woken up by one of these idiots holding a camera, I shouldn't be getting used to that.
What did you do?
Okay, penises. By the way.
By the way. What?
Alright, so we are headed to Trader's Village for some flea marketing.
I don't have a working setup, funny enough.
I have like 3 zappers, and I recently went through all of them, and none of them work.
Hey, what do you want for the zapper?
Now, there weren't a whole lot of great games on the NES that used the zapper. You barely ever used it at all, and when you did, it was always playing Duck Hunt. And when you played Duck Hunt, you played it for maybe like 15, 20 minutes, and then went back to playing Mario.
15? Is that good?
It ain't good, but is it bad? I don't know what they go for these days.
I don't hear. $15 for an NES zapper. You know what? That might actually be retail now, but you know, we're not at a storefront. We're at a freaking flea market.
I don't know if it even works. Can't test it, so I'm not gonna take a chance at $15.
Oh, so we come across a table here that has a bunch of He-Man figures or Masters of the Universe.
Oh, whoa. Your stuff? How much for the figures? 10 each?
Yeah, 10 each ain't bad, I guess. But, yeah, you know, it's 10 each. You know, none of them have accessories.
Did you bring cash?
No.
This fool came to the flea market with no money.
Alright, I might be back. I don't think I need any of these. Finally, a video game here. Bart Simpson versus the Space Mutants.
Bart Simpson versus the Space Mutants.
I actually remember playing this one when I was a kid. I think we rented it. I don't think we owned it, but I think we rented it. It was pretty fun. First level, you gotta cover up all the purple things. You know, the game really don't make a whole lot of sense.
How much for the game? That one, I'll do like $10.
10?
Yeah.
So this guy's got some more games. I look down and I see some GameCube games. I have them all except one, and that's this Yu-Gi-Oh game.
What were you asking on that?
That one, I'll do $10.
10?
Yeah.
So I don't know what a Yu-Gi-Oh is, and quite frankly, I don't think I want to know what a Yu-Gi-Oh is. All I know is that this is a GameCube game that I don't have. It's not a sports game, and it's only $10. I say only $10.
Would you do 15 for both of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bart versus the Space Mutants and Yu-Gi-Oh for 15. Not bad. Not bad.
I sometimes think to myself when we're going around looking at all the stuff at the flea market that one day it's going to end. You know, not anytime soon, but one day it will. Because the newer generations, they're all going to be digital. Going out and looking for old games that you grew up with, one day that's not going to be a thing. It's only people that us are going to care about it because we grew up with that physical media, whether it be movies and games or music. Being able to hold something in your hand or go to a store and actually physically buy something. And it's just sad that that's slowly going away.
Look, if I can pick up some NES controllers cheap, I'll do it, always.
You can do $15.
15?
Yeah.
15 on 2 controllers, that ain't terrible.
Yeah, I'm out here looking for deals. That's about $5 more per controller that I want to spend, so.
I'm good on those.
Decent vintage figures. What did he say, $5? He said 5 on that one. He didn't, I don't know if he's got different prices on the rest, but.
The same dude has some vintage TMNT figures, $5 each.
Not terrible, but I don't really need them.
So I'm looking at these turtles and then, all of a sudden I do notice there is a Genesis game right in front of me, Miss Pac-Man. We all know what Miss Pac-Man is, but when you were a kid growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, nobody wanted to play these archaic arcade games.
What were you asking on the game? How much? $3. $3?
Not knocking it, love the game, but when you're a kid in that era, you wanted Sonic. You wanted Rolling Thunder. You wanted Mario.
I mean, it's Pac-Man on the Genesis, but for $3, why not? In fact, I think I actually have the empty case of this for this at home. One of the ones that we got off of that, the wall, and we got all those Sega Genesis games off the wall at that one store.
So we're at this other booth here and we see some games behind some glass. And oftentimes it's pointless to even ask. You're not getting it for anything less than eBay price. And it's probably going to be even more than that.
Like, I would crush my nuts.
What are you asking on the Game Boy? 85? Yeah, okay.
No.
I see Super Star Wars here, and this is one of my favorite games on the Super Nintendo. Hard as balls. It's one of those games where you weren't gonna beat it if you rented it. You had to own it.
That one is $15 and $10.
$10, $15? Okay.
He wants $10 for it. That's probably more than it goes for.
Okay, so I see this weird NES controller at one vendor's booth.
Jake tosses me this controller. I'm looking at it. It's like this weird NES controller.
NES?
Kind of interested because I don't have it. He tosses me this Genesis game, World of Tanks. Now I'm pretty sure World of Tanks is this mobile game. So obviously this is some sort of hack or maybe even somebody just took a whatever game and just threw a fake label on it.
Hey, look at that. Famicom. Famicom North and South. Right there, literally right in front of you.
Oh. North and South is a strategy game, and this would definitely be in the Civil War days, North and South. So you can either be Southeast or the Northeast. And you battle. Like, I've only ever seen Rue play it once.
They took the label and they stretched it out. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this is probably a fake.
Hello. I got embarrassed. I looked down and...
Why not? If the price is right. I'm just curious what these are.
I'll give it to you for $5.
Everything for $5?
Yeah.
Will do.
Literally, as I'm taking out the money, I hear a very angry woman come stomping up.
Pero 10. Sí. No, estos son míos. Ahí lo...
Hi. Hi. Apparently, the price that I was quoted was not what this lady wanted to sell these things for.
He said 15 and then 10 for each.
10 for each?
Yeah, 15 and 10 each.
She comes back at me with $35.
This is a fake card anyways.
Lady, these things are fake.
Man, she came in quick on that.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, hang on.
All right, no, I'm good. Thank you.
5 to 35. Yikes.
So I'm like, as if, and I turn around to walk off, and she's like, no, wait, hold up. How about 30? Yeah, that's gonna get me to stop and turn back around. $5 off a pile of crap. No, not 30.
No.
You're lucky I agreed to 5.
I mean, first of all, the World Tanks was fake anyway, but then looking at the Famicom, the label was stretched, so it was definitely fake as well.
The price quoted was $5. Should have been honored, gotta be honest.
Hold on.
I was like, am I smelling something? I'm gonna go outside for a
Dude. Dude, he's coming out into the hall. Go.
I smelled something and I was like, did someone just crap their pants? Because that's what it smelled like. It was bad. And then and then when you started reacting, I'm like, okay.
Dude, I was holding my breath and you were just sitting there by the door.
Well,
And trying
you
to,
were like,
trying to
wait.
gesture to you to open the door. Wait, no, wait. Freaking gas chamber and wait. Come on. That room's not very big.
There's no ventilation.
It was hot.
Was there texture to it?
Dude. I was like, what the
Why did we take him to Rosa's, man? Seriously.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Let's feed Billy a bunch of beans and then go back to the house and record in a little tiny ass room with no ventilation.
So I'm at a new booth here. I look through this little case here and I see a Game Gear game that I don't have, Slider. Now, this is a game that I've never played, so I have no idea what it is. But because I don't have it and I've never played it, if it's cheap enough, I'm obviously gonna pick this sucker up.
Right there, the slider. Yeah, what do you guys see on that one?
This one I do 10.
Nah.
You know, $2 sounds better.
10-8, I'm calling it. Excuse me, how much are your games? 10?
No.
Hey, is this sexy? Hey, is this sexy? Is this sexy?
No.
He thinks it is.
It's sexy?
All right, we're done here. Let's go to another flea market.
One that we haven't been to in a long time because we used to get kicked out of that one all the time too. It's in Grand Prairie, our old hometown actually, so we're gonna head that way.
You don't gotta go anywhere, it's there.
Wait, so it's a magic scenario now?
It's magic
Magic
Dave's Hot Chicken.
And all
yes.
I gotta do is hum on your...
Hum on my... Through parchment paper,
Yeah,
mind
through
you.
parchment paper. Let's not get too crazy.
Yeah.
First vendor we come to, dude looks like he just opened up his truck and just pushed everything out. But these are my kind of vendors. You never know what you're gonna find.
I look down and I see a Turtles copter. I don't know what the official name of it is. It's the Turtles helicopter. Now this thing is missing pretty much everything. One of the little orange dealies is broken off. Literally broken off. I don't know what it's missing. The fact that it's broken is making me kind of like, I don't know.
Billy's looking at this Turtles helicopter or something, and I spot on the truck a party wagon, Turtles party wagon.
So we're looking for a date on this thing because, we know they recently re-released this, and so we want to make sure that this thing is vintage.
1989.
I ask how much he wants for this thing, and he says $2.
I just happen to have $2.
You buy this. Even though it's missing everything, doesn't matter, it's $2.
We used to find all kinds of amazing stuff here. I found Ninja Gaiden Trilogy, probably the best find that I've ever had here. But those days are far behind us.
I like how we just like walk up on the booth, we just descend on it, flank it. Yep, Game Boy.
Yeah.
I see a little sandwich bag full of Game Boy Advance games, and I gotta pick them up and see what's in here.
25 for the whole bag?
Now there's actually some Game Boy games too, things like WrestleMania, Centipede, Game Boy Advance games, things like Hot Wheels. None of them really stand out to me as something I'd probably spend a lot of time playing. But, I mean, why not?
I'll do 20 bucks. I have 20 bucks. You do 20 bucks the whole bag? Okay.
There are probably around 20 games in here, so they're all $1 each.
It's nothing too spectacular in here, but I mean, average about less than $2 for a game. Why not?
apparently everyone's pooping.
I'm a little confused on a thing. I go to use the bathroom and I'm in the stall. I just happen to notice that the trash can is full of toilet paper that someone has wiped their butt with. It's not just one person either. There's a lot of toilet paper. So that means everybody who went in there to take wipe their butt and put their poop toilet paper in the trash can. Pretty disgusting. Have some f***ing couth. Your butthole smells like rotten fruit. As I'm talking about couth, there's that.
I gotta see this.
People must have covered it up because I didn't see it.
Bullshit, you didn't see it. Come here.
Dude.
Dude. Look at this. Look at this. Just why? Can you see that? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Like, look, dude, look at that. Why? Freaking why? Oh. Oh, gosh.
So apparently everyone's pooping.
What do you guys got on the Game Boy?
100.
100? Okay.
No.
Yeah, so this place sucks.
That's why I grabbed toilet paper to cover my hand. So I was gonna grab part of the toilet paper that wasn't shitty to move it up so you could see with the camera. But then he came down my way.
Are we going by your old house?
Yes. So we're done with the flea markets, and this shitty toilet paper has inspired me to let's go ahead and do a tour of Grand Prairie. Most of my remaining school days when we moved up here were in Grand Prairie.
So Rob and I both grew up in Grand Prairie as well, but it was the south side.
But we lived in this house right here. This yellow, it wasn't yellow at the time, it was white with like brown, you know, accents, I guess. We used to live there. This particular house, it was the last house that we all lived in together. There used to be basketball goals right here, and when we lived over here, me and Melvor actually would walk down here and we would play basketball. Believe it or not, Melvor actually used to be able to ball. Like he was actually pretty good at basketball. You couldn't tell by looking at him, but he was actually pretty good.
Well, yeah, I can't tell by looking at him because he looks like Steve Nash.
He does look like Steve Nash, you're not wrong. I hate Grand Prairie. I hate this stupid city. Yeah, there's the Blockbuster. So one of the stops on this trip is going to be at the Blockbuster, where essentially we all kind of met each other. These are still in my wallet. That's crazy.
It's so funny that when Blockbuster moved out of this building, one of the sections that would take up residence is a game exchange.
That's when we started 27 years ago at this location. I was 21 years old. I started in like June, I think, of 97. And then a couple of months later, Jay got the job there. Soon after that, Rufus. And so, you know, we were kind of like a happy threesome. And then yeah, that sounded weird.
So I met Rob back in 1994. We both worked at Kroger. It was my very first job. He moved on to work at Blockbuster, and a little while later, I eventually moved on to work at Blockbuster as well.
The three of us have not been to this location together since we all worked there together in, what, 98 or something like that, or 99.
Dude, how many cigarettes did I smoke right here? We just had the most amazing crew at that Blockbuster. The first one that I worked at many over the years, but this one was always, you know, like the 3 years that I spent at that store were some of the best years at Blockbuster, period.
Man, yeah, that was a crazy time back then. All kinds of shenanigans.
It's still to this day the funnest job I've ever had. The funnest job I've ever had. And a lot of that had to do with the crew that we worked with. We just all like gelled, like all of us, you know, and we're all from different walks of life with different interests, but there was that one thing in movies that you know, kind of drew us all together.
Dude, it's just weird to be here.
Rob is definitely in his feels about the building right now, which is kind of making me be like, damn, yeah, this is Blockbuster.
This window that I don't know if you were there, but Huffer broke this window.
I was not there for that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because he was doing this and he was bouncing on it, and then and he had that face that that face that he had. It sounds silly, but it feels like I'm back, you know, and it's just really surreal to be here. It's just weird. We're going in, right?
There was the whole building, so like the new release wall would have been the insurance place.
Well, pretty much.
This would have been
This is the manager's office.
Yeah, the manager's
Or
pit.
the manager pit.
Yeah, right here.
I mean, kind of, but yeah. It's still very nostalgic to me being here and just walking in the door, and it's almost like I can imagine where everything still was. Like I'm like, oh, it was only a couple of feet to the registers, and then beyond that, that's where the Coke machines were, and this is where the candy was, and this is where, you know, I mean, it's crazy being back here after all this time.
It's a little surreal, actually standing in the same area, but having to just be completely different.
Yeah.
It's just strange.
It's funny, we're sitting here at a game exchange full of physical media, reminiscing about the awesome times we had working at a job that was all about physical media.
Right about that area, probably a little bit beyond the wall. Wrestling.
Yep.
Wrestling. We'd wrestle.
There's nothing really wrong with digital. It is convenient, it has its place, but it's definitely, there's a coldness about it that you can't get with having a place where everybody can kind of come in there and just talk movies.
At Blockbuster, you could walk the aisles, and if you see something that catches your eye, you can go ask somebody, hey, have you seen this? Is it worth my time? Is it worth sitting there for 2 hours watching this movie or whatever? I mean, there was something about the whole experience that I loved. And it's something that, as somebody who's a movie dork, I always loved that about going into a video store.
There's just nothing like going and picking out a couple of movies and a video game for the weekend, and it's you and the family, or you and his friends sleeping over or whatever.
You know, I can't think about Blockbuster without thinking of the era of Nintendo 64 and PlayStation. So many of the games I ended up playing and renting were from Blockbuster, because a lot of them I rented from that Blockbuster that I worked at.
There were so many times on a Friday night where somebody would get an idea of renting a movie from another customer who's talking about that same movie they just returned. I mean, it happened all the time. And it was one of those things that as you worked, the longer you worked there, you got to see those patterns, and you got to see, community happen. And it was all around movies and games too. I needed to fill up the candy, and there was some candy over there. And it was Robert again, who threw like a packet of Reese's Pieces and hit me directly in the crotch, and it hurt.
And it was right here?
Like right around here is when that happened.
And even though it is sad that physical media will be going away for the most part, I'm always going to appreciate the fact that I'm an old fogey that grew up in a badass era with lots of awesome physical media, because it brought people together in a different sort of way. And for the record, as we're all here reminiscing, I'm skimming the shelves, seeing what's behind the case, and there's nothing really here. No Flintstones games.
I've passed by it before driving by, and of course I'm like, oh, that was Blockbuster. Anytime I passed by Blockbuster where I knew there was, I was like, oh, that's Blockbuster, that was Hollywood Video, or whatever. But I've just never allowed myself to really feel. But now here with the guys, it's like, dang, this was good times.
Man, so much happened here, and so much has happened since. It was kind of emotional standing there.
I still had my shirts until like, I think 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, I threw them away.
Dude, I saw one on eBay.
Why would you do that? I don't know, because I don't, that's the thing, is I don't throw anything away.
I threw away all my Blockbuster shirts and all my Sprint shirts. Both of those don't even exist anymore, and I wish I still had them. I saw a Blockbuster shirt, like a legit Blockbuster shirt from back in the day, on eBay for $130 for one.
It's like, I don't throw anything away, but for whatever reason, I decided to clean out my closet and start throwing like old clothes away and shit, like stuff I didn't wear, stuff that didn't fit me.
That's exactly what I did.
And those shirts were in there, and I remember even pausing, and I was like, and I just tossed them. That was probably 8 years ago, and I wish I hadn't done that now.
Yeah, me too.
I still
wish I would at least have one.
at least one, right?
So today got a few things, nothing special, but I guess you could say the special thing was taking a tour down memory lane like a bunch of olds. And for some reason, we didn't go back and try to get that chopper, that helicopter. Even though he was at $2 on the van, we didn't go back and go, oh, well, if he's at $2 on the van, maybe he's at $2 or $1 on the helicopter. Maybe 2 for 3. Like, why would we not do that? Like, I'm serious. It's not that we have brain farts. It's that our brains are farts.
Blockbuster video.
Turtle van back. He took the van. And then you say, $2.
So there was one morning when I came in, and it was after, I guess it was on a Monday or Tuesday. It was on a Tuesday morning when all the movies come out. And Billy and Jay were part of the crew in the previous night. And apparently, instead of putting all the boxes back in the big box so that we could file them in the back, because, eventually we would take copies off of the wall and we'd make them previously viewed, right? So we need those boxes. Well, I come in the morning and lo and behold, they're all crushed to oblivion that they had apparently set up a wrestling mat out of Blockbuster, sleeves and stuff. So basically everything was crushed, and it was like, you guys realize we have to use these to sell things afterward. It's one of those things where, you're kind of angry, and just not really angry, but like upset. But then you see the humor in it, because it must have been hilarious to see a wrestling match go on and them say, you know what, we're supposed to save these, but screw it, let's do a wrestling match. So yeah, it's crazy.
While on the clock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when did that ever stop us?